Butter is essentially made of 3 larger components. That's fat, milk solids, and water. When you brown butter, you're doing a lot of things, but mainly you're melting the fat, toasting the milk solids, and reducing the water content. When you're starting out, it can be helpful to use a light colored pan so you can really see the color of the milk solids. Of course, I pulled out the darkest pan I have. You can brown however much you want at one time. I'm just melting a stick for my chocolate chip cookie recipe later. I'm turning my stovetop to medium heat and letting the butter melt very slowly until it's all liquefied. Then I'll keep stirring while the pan comes up to that medium heat. This can take minutes, but when the toasting starts, things begin to speed up rapidly. So do not leave the stove unattended here. You should slowly start to smell toasty notes from the butter. I like to waft the smell up towards my nose just because it smells really good. As soon as the milk solids hit a nice amber brown, I turn the heat down to low or medium low and then keep stirring. Once people get the hang of browning butter, the number one mistake they make is taking it off the stove too early. Keep stirring and browning those milk solids until the entire butter mixture is darker in color to maximize flavor and aroma. Once it's done, I transfer it to a heat-safe container and into the refrigerator to speed up the cooling process. This was the butter after 90 minutes of sitting in the door of my refrigerator. It's still slightly soft. You can tell it's done correctly because the butter fat itself is also brown. If your butter fat cools to a white color, or really light, it's your sign that you toasted the milk solids too quickly or not enough. And when it comes to brown butter, there are some things to be mindful of. Brown butter is not always a one-for-one replacement in recipes for butter. Because it has a reduced water content, it can really impact the final result of your baked goods. Water steams and evaporates alongside acids, leaveners, etc. inside of your baked goods to create little air pockets that give you that nice flaky crust in a lot of those cakes, cookies, whatever you're baking. If there's no water from that butter to steam and or react with the leaveners in the recipe, then your baked good just won't end up the way you want it to. To prevent that, you can add a little bit of water or another ingredient that has a high enough water content to kind of counteract any, like if you have too much fat. Or like I do in my chocolate chip cookie recipe, you can use just part brown butter and the rest regular butter, so you still have that water content with that nice toasty flavor on the side. But more on my chocolate chip cookie recipe in the next video.